Hey guys, back with another tutorial. Haven't covered much on vocal processing, but in the past had a lot of requests for a tutorial like this. And I've just had a song released. It's a collab track with Alex Mind and Sue Cho out on Big Fish. And straight away I've had lots of people asking me again if I could perhaps show them a little bit behind the scenes and how I processed the vocals and mixed them into the track. Because it can be tough when you're first starting to work with vocals and songs. It always sounds like they just don't merge well together and they just can't sit right between the instrumental and the vocals. So here's a little bit about what I did. I'll just play it quickly.
Here I am on my knees again, broken and lonely. There you are leaving me again, so lost. What do I do when the fight inside me leaves me blindly? Where do I go when the heart is full? I need to learn to just let it go.
Builds up.
Just let it go.
Okay, so first and foremost, to do the best job you can with a really good vocal track, you have to have really good vocal recordings. So obviously, we had Sue on this track, and most of you will know who she is. She's done lots of big tracks, and she's super professional. Actually, shout out Sue, awesome job. Everyone, you should go and hit her up if you need a good vocalist. Anyway, so the first things first, if you've got bad recordings and you've been given some bad stems where the recording was crap and there's lots of background noise and stuff like that, then straight away you're making it very hard for yourself. So I must admit, I was lucky here because the stems that Sue gave us was really good. So she gave us really good recordings, and it made my job pretty easy to mix this into the track. However, I will show you what I did, the processing that I did. These ones here, I don't actually have anything in them. So the vocals were kind of in two parts. There was a soft first lead vocal, and then it went into this part here where there was harmonies and the vocal was quite big. So this part here again.
Here I am on my knees again.
So it was she's singing quite soft there. So we had to just keep everything quite subtle so that when it came into these this bigger section here, it had the right impact.
What do I do when the fight inside me leads me blindly?
Okay, so first of all, this lead section here, this first little lead that we did, I will just bypass the plugins, and I'll show you what we're working with to start off with. I don't think Sue's going to mind because she's got a great voice even on the bare recordings. So if I just get rid of these plugins, here's exactly what I got sent.
Here I am on my knees again, broken and lonely. There you are leaving me again.
So the first thing you want to do is, with your vocal recording, you want to go in there and you want to check it out, listen carefully, and if you hear any pops or clicks, then you get in there, you remove them, or you can do that little fade trick. So for example, this would be, I'd get rid of that, and then you can do the fade like so. Kind of hard to see what I just did there, maybe. So I put a little fade, and that can get rid of the clicks and pops. But obviously, didn't need to do it on this one here. So that's the first thing you want to do. People sometimes like to have the breaths that the singer is making during the recording. Some people like to take them in, take them out. Some people like to leave them in. I left them in on this one because it suited the part of the track that the vocals were in. So that's how she sent it to me. The first thing that I did was channel EQ, and I just rolled off the bottoms between under 124 Hertz and a slight boost, like a high shelf boost at at 5,000 hertz. Why does I always get text when I do a tutorial? Okay, so, and then we got the compressor here. What was this doing?
Here I am on my knees again, broken and lonely. There you are, here I am.
So you can see here with the gain reduction, it's just catching a few of the peaks, and it's actually got 6 dB of gain, so it's actually making the vocals a little bit louder. I could have probably just used volume to make it louder, but I just wanted to catch some of the peaks and just get the vocals sitting pretty straight. So that's my settings that I had. Like I say, this was just to catch a bit of the peaks with the loud parts and level it all out. And then
Here I am.
And then I had the stereo delay. And this stereo delay is, I am a big fan of stereo delay with vocals processing, because it just, I think it's a really good type of delay to get the vocals sitting in the mix a whole lot better. So here is what they sound like after the stereo delay.
Here I am on my knees again, broken and lonely.
The delay, however, I did EQ the delay using this little part down here, so the delay is only really happening between 2,500 and like 1,900 hertz, like 19,000 hertz. So there's only a tiny bit of delay in a way, but those are the settings there. Stereo delay, and then I used a de-esser.
Here I am on my knees again, broken and lonely.
It wasn't
There
really,
you are, here I am on my
so you can see here, oh, there's the activity button.
broken and lonely. There you are, here I am on my knees again.
So when she says on my knees again, I just put a de-esser just to tone down the S's on that part, because you can see the activity light turns on when it's active. And this was it's between, yeah, it was between 9,000 and 10,000 hertz. So that was the area that I was getting this de-esser, which is basically, it just reduces that frequency range every time it detects that there's too much S-ing going on. So there's that, and then there was the compressor. This is the main compressor that I was using.
Here I am on my knees again, broken and lonely.
So you can straight away see this one's basically working on every note that she's singing, between 1 to -5, yeah, basically to 1 to 5 dB gain reduction. So
Here I am on my knees again,
it's compressing most of her words.
broken
And again, I use the compressor just to level it all out, because if you've got, I mean, it's not squashing the vocal, so there's still some dynamics there between the the loudest and the quietest part. But I just wanted to be able to have my vocals sitting above the instruments, and I was sure that it wasn't going to start peaking or going too loud, because I was catching the peaks with my compressors. So I run this vocal. So this is the vocal
Here I am on my
after processing.
knees again, broken and lonely.
Now I just take them away.
There you are, here I am on my knees again,
That's with no processing.
broken and lonely. There you are, here I am on my knees again,
And that's with the processing.
broken and lonely. There you are, here I am.
Okay, so that's that first part, the first passage that she does. And then we get into this part here.
What do I do when the fire inside me leaves?
Now she did a good job of making this section really powerful with her vocals, with the build and the vocals. It just worked out really nicely. Now she sent through quite a few. These are all what she did. So I fortunately didn't have to like bounce copies of a single file and then go into a tuning plugin and then start pitching things up and down to make harmonies. She'd already done them for me, which is really good. So I mean, this is the lead for this second passage.
What do I do when the fight inside me leads me blindly? Where do I go
So that's the main part, and then we had some harmony files here. Now, I mean, I'm not a vocal expert, but with the harmonies, I'm pretty sure she's singing these in a slightly different pitch to this first one, so that when you combine them together, they create, like a big, full, pleasing sound. Much, when you make a chord, you add the third and the fifth, or whatever, the sixth, ninth, and you create a new sound, a nice, big, warm sound. It's the same here with what she's doing. So here's how one of the harmony stems here sounds.
What do I do when the fight inside me leads me blindly?
Okay, so the pitch is a little bit lower here than the lead one.
What do I do
But when you combine them,
the fight inside me leads me blindly?
and then this one here again.
What do I do when the fight inside me?
So a slightly different pitch again, but when you combine the two harmonies with the lead,
What do I do when the fight inside?
it sounds massive. In the layer here,
What do I do when the fight inside me?
I think I made these ones actually. These are just ones where I just did a couple of duplicates of the lead, and then I panned it hard to the right.
What do I do?
If that's actually what it's going to be on your speaker, it might be left. And this one here again, you can see I just did the opposite
What do I do
on the other side.
when the fight
So that's
inside
wide
me leads me blindly?
plus the lead
Where do I go
plus the two harmonies
when the heart is cold? I need
in the back
to
of the track.
learn to just let it go.
So all of those there create that second main vocal passage up to the drop. Now then, what I wanted to do was, because it's all the same recording in a way, I wanted to not have to load up each of these channels here with all my vocal processing plugs. So I simply got them all, I selected them all, and I sent them off to a bus, the vocal bus. So they're all being treated exactly the same way. Yep, all being treated the same way. So we've got here, this is the lineup. So this is, again, if I just take away the plugins. Oh, and also on this lead plugin here, I put a plugin that from Waves that makes whatever you run through it very centralized. So because I had these two that were panned hard left, pan hard right, I want this one to be really down the middle. That's what that plugin there is. Anyway, so these are what this whole section sounds like with none of the vocal processing.
What do I do when the fight inside me leads me blindly?
So it was already, I could tell it was going to be really good once I did some work on it. So here's what I did. I run it through it's like a vocal compressor from Waves.
What do I do when the fight inside me leads me blindly?
So you can see it's doing a little bit of compression.
Where do I go when the heart is cold?
Kind of around -2 to -4 gain reduction. So again, that's just helping everything gel together. It's controlling the peaks, making the overall volume a little bit more, seamless, more together. So it's not, I'm reducing the dynamics in a way. The loud part and the quiet part are closer together now. So then I got a channel EQ. All this is doing is rolling off below 164. Then I've got this EQ, which is I use for vocals for the high end only, because it's well known for being amazing on high ends. So this one here is boosting at the frequency of 10,000 hertz, boosting 3 dB. Okay, so that's all I'm doing with this one here. It's just like a sweetener. So up at 10,000 kilohertz is where I'm doing some EQing. Then I've got this EQ here. Again, it's just rolling off the lows from 140, but that's done earlier in the chain. And this one again, just some high end. So this is like giving the air and the sparkle to the vocal. So I'm boosting 4.5 dB at 10,000 hertz. And then I have this plugin here, which is like a Chris Lord Alge. I actually don't know how to say his name, but it's a Waves plugin, and it's really good. I've had it for a long time. It's really good for vocals. And this wasn't a preset. This was I just made this one from scratch, from the default settings, and so it's got a simple EQ, a simple compression, which I'm not even doing anything on those there. It's just some reverb, some delay, and it's like a stereo spreader. But I'll play that all in a second. So what I'll do is now with those two EQs and the compression, I'll start playing it and I'll cycle through.
What do I do when the fight inside me leaves
So this is with the
me
high end
blindly?
put in.
Where do I go when the heart is cold?
And now with the,
I
like,
need to learn
effects
to
plugin.
just let it go. What do I do when the fight inside me leads me blindly? Where do
So this one makes a big difference because there's some reverb and delay on the vocals, but I wanted some more delay. So again, I just used the trusty Logic stereo delay plugin, and it's got quite a lot of feedback, so the delays are quite long. Again, I did some EQing with this little section here, so that the delayed signal, there's nothing below 240, and there's nothing above 14.1 kilohertz. So if I add this into the mix now,
What do I do when the fight inside me leads me blindly?
so you can hear a lot of the vocal going on in the background, sitting in the background mix, and this makes it sound really big, like it's in a big room. And then last but not least, this plugin, I just got this one before I did the tutorial. Before I did the actual song, and I was using it for some compression. The EQ actually shouldn't be on. The limiter was just literally limiting it so it didn't go over 0 dB, and the warmth is really cool. So
What do I do when the fight inside
compressor
me
has got like
leads
minus
me blindly?
4 dB
Where
gain
do
reduction.
I go when the heart is cold? I need to learn to
And the
just
warmth
let
is
it
52%.
go. What do I do?
So just quickly, I've got some compression, some EQ to roll off the low end, some EQ to boost the high end, another one for the high end, for the very high end. This is like a really cool effects plugin from Waves. It's mainly for the reverb and delay, and stereo delay again is to help get the vocals to sound quite big. So that's what I used, and then the dynamics here from the Sonox is just mainly for the warmth and a bit of extra compression after I'd done all those processing. So this is what it sounded like with no processing.
What do I do when the fight inside me
And then with processing.
leads me blindly? Where do I go when the heart is cold? I need to learn to just let it go.
There's that. And then these ones here, this is just the same bit of audio, which I've just used in the background. So these actually don't have any processing. They just go to a bus that has a filter on it, like a high cut filter. And then it slowly builds up here at the end as I open the filter. And then it comes into this section here.
Just let it go.
So I've got these two bits here, reverse reverb. I've done a tutorial on that. I won't do it in this one just because it probably takes a wee while, but some reverse reverb, great trick. You can hear it building up.
Just let
So it builds up into this one here. And this one here is simply, all I did was, you can see here, that's the end part of the vocal. I've just put it here. I had them all. Obviously, these are all exactly the same processing because they're all being sent to that main vocal bus. But I wanted to do like a little tape stop pitch down effect at the end. So all I did was I selected them all and I bounced them down to audio. So it's this one here now. And then obviously now I had this one file. I put the slowdown effect on the end here.
Just let it go.
Like so. Okay. I've got another song where I'm doing some vocal processing on another voice. I might do another tutorial, but this one, yeah. So this one is just for that new song that's just come out, and just showing you the processing that I did on the vocals and the before and afters. So I hope that's helped some people out, and hopefully I'll be back again soon with another tutorial. So thanks a lot, guys. See you soon.